What's your connection to the event, or how did you end up here today? How is your work going for you? What are some of the struggles that you're having? And you only ask those intro questions so that you can find something in the answer that clicks, so you can take the conversation somewhere that it's going to naturally go. Avoid really canned, silly questions at business events. The worst one ever that I heard was we're all chatting away, and then somebody looks at me and says, "So if you were a fruit, what fruit would you be?" Now that may work at this conference, actually. But just be natural. Initiating dialogue, which is really the beginning of the mingling formula. So when people would say to me, how do you get around a room? Because now I'll go to an event and maybe have 100 conversations in a night or 50 conversations in a night and just float about. And you don't have to be that person. But that's who I was when I went to those hundreds of events in 1 year. And so people would say, well, how do you do it? So I created what I call the mingling formula. Initiate dialogue. And we talked about that. Hi, how are you? Good, good. And then taking the conversation somewhere else by having some opening lines that work for you naturally that lead to a conversation that is of interest to you. Initiate dialogue. Create a mini bond. Some sort of a connection that makes you feel like, oh, okay, actually I kind of like that person. I get a good vibe. Goes back to that branding piece around what is the gut reaction that people have about you. That's that mini bond that you want to create. And you can do that in various ways. One is in our body language. So earlier I was sharing the story about the few people I saw who were looking down at the carpet while they were walking. Now, not only is it unsafe, it's very difficult to connect. So when we're talking with people, and men are great at this. Have you ever noticed, I think it's guide code, how they have shoulder to shoulder talking? Do you know about the shoulder to shoulder? Or you just do it and you don't even realize you're doing it? Yeah, he's like, no, I don't shoulder to shoulder talk. They do. They will have a conversation and they don't want to look at each other right on, right? So they kind of turn their bodies and they talk to each other like this. So how much connection can we make if our shoulders are talking to each other? Now, I'm not suggesting you have to get into a deep embrace and just be totally squared on. Hello. But you do want to have your body, if your mind is saying, I'm happy and I want to be talking with this person, just allow your face and your body to acknowledge that and share the same message. Because when people do things like looking over the shoulder to figure out if somebody else is more important who they need to be talking with, have you had that happen to you?
Yes.
How does that make you feel? Not very important. So have you ever done that to somebody else? If eyes are the window to the soul, I say give people a glimpse. Deep. Eye contact is most important during a handshake. Now we're all professionals. I'm not going to get into a handshake needs to be a web-to-web, strong grip, 2 pumps, let go. You can figure that out. But where professionals go wrong is they don't look people in the eye. And you'll notice if you are introduced to a whole bunch of different people at once, that it's even worse, right? Because it's the hand is going here and the mind is going over there to be sure you're ready for the next one, right? As opposed to just focusing on the person you're meeting. So it's all those little things that just add up to people's gut reaction about you. That what do people see, what do they feel, and what do they hear? Are they going to like you? Will they trust you? Will they believe you're competent? And ultimately, will they want to work with you or hire you if you're a student who's looking for one of the professionals? Or if you're a professional, will they see you as a legitimate colleague who they want to continue to connect with?